Welcome if you're back, welcome if you're new. My name is Lulu, and you're watching Call Me Lulu. If you're new to this channel, I am an aspiring writer from Texas. My puppy is crumpling a toy back there, so it might be kind of loud. And my cat is over here watching him judgmentally. So I might have to interrupt that at some point. But I'm an aspiring writer in Texas, and I use this channel to just yap about what I've been reading and writing. And I've really been enjoying it lately. This week, I want to do a writing vlog, and I want to take you guys along while I try and get out of a writing slump. I think said slump began recently, maybe about a week and a half ago. I'm normally someone who writes every single day for just the amount of time that I possibly can. I've never had to motivate myself to write. I will generally write until I am asked to stop. It's a bit of an issue. Currently, I'm working on 2 projects. One is a short story collection that I would like to complete in an MFA program and publish. I compiled a first draft of a lot of that project for a writing sample at the end of last year, and I sent it out to potential MFA programs and applied to those, and I'm waiting to hear back right now. So that project is on hold for the minute. And then the other project that I'm working on right now is kind of a new adult fantasy novel. And it's a little bit different from the literary fiction I usually write and what I've been writing in that other project. And I would consider kind of the new adult fantasy novel to be more of a trunk project. It's not one that I necessarily have plans to publish, but I think that I could learn a lot from writing it. It would be the first project that I would have completed, the first draft of cover to cover, that's novel length. And I think that kind of constructing a novel length plot and developing my characters to the extent that they can withstand a novel length of scrutiny is something I could learn a lot from. And I also feel really passionate about this project in most times that are not now. So I feel motivated to finish it, even if I feel like it's a project that would not be right for publication. This week, however, I have really been feeling the downsides of my project. I normally don't write adult fantasy. I write sort of speculative, it would probably be surrealist, literary fiction sort of thing. And so I'm new to fantasy tropes. I am new to characters that have so much roundedness that they can be in a novel length project. Normally the characters that I write have 1 or 2 things about them, and that's it. And nothing more than they need to be in the story that they're in. Versus I think novel characters, there's more to them than you even see. There's a lot to them, and then there's even more that the writer knows about them. And so that's very new, and I think it's causing a lot of problems for me. And as I run into those problems, I'm not necessarily as resilient with them as I would normally be. I think part of this is that it's a heart project. And so when I run into a stumbling block, I'm first of all, I don't think that I have the skills to deal with it. And then also I'm oh my God, will I not be able to do this? Will I not be able to finish it? I've already kind of put this project down a few times. I originally started it in 2022. And so it's something that I really want to finish, but I have experienced that feeling of oh, I need to put this away for a minute, put it in a drawer and come back to it later. and that's not something that I want to do right now. So I just feel kind of discouraged, and that has led to me not writing for about a week, or avoiding writing when I feel like I have the time, which is a new feeling to me and kind of not a great one. Hello, Nim. This is my cat, Nim. She's lovely and is wonderful in all things. And we have a puppy with whom she is currently feuding. Thank goodness the feud is one-sided. The dog like worships the cat as a deity. The cat despises the dog. And I think is confused as to why he continues to be in our home. But anyway, I was talking about the thing that this channel is actually for, and it's not about me talking about the pet dynamics in my home. But yeah, I've been avoiding writing, which is new for me. It's not how my life normally goes. And so this week I thought that I would try and get myself out of my writing slump by doing things that I don't normally do. So I normally do not develop my characters a whole lot. I don't do a whole lot of like character work. I think that's for readers to do. But for this project, it really demands character work, and I thought that I could make that really fun. So I have 3 POV characters. The first one, I believe in my like authortube newbie tag video, I described as like a mermaid in graduate school. And that's like no longer accurate, but I think it's like what I want to stick with as like the log line for her. The second one is like a preppy like sea leaf fairy who like doesn't want to do anything. Like he wants to party and doesn't see why he has to do anything else. And kind of has a point, the way the story's set up. And then the third guy is like an angsty druid. And today I like kind of started drawing them up like as Dungeons and Dragons characters. And it was really fun, and it actually like helped me with some stuff. So I thought of these 3 as like a fighting party for D&D. So like the like Sealy Fairy character is like kind of like the front man person. I've only played D&D once, so my knowledge is limited, but I know there's kind of like the face of the party, and that's like the Sealy Fairy. The mermaid is kind of like the fighter, and then the druid is the bard, most definitely. So I sort of like drew them up a little bit. I'm still working on it. And like one of the problems I've been having with the mermaid is that she's like kind of like overpowered. Like she's too good at things, and so it's like not interesting to watch her do things. And I realized I kind of set her up so that like her flaw is that she has like really low charisma, but she's like a fighter, like, and she is like always interacting with like the Sealy Fae guy who does have like really high charisma. So her having like really low charisma like doesn't hinder her enough. It like doesn't get in her way. So it's like an odd flaw for her to have. And I kept that one because I think it does like speak to who she is. And then I also was like, oh, I can like limit her dexterity. I can like move her dexterity score lower, so that she has trouble fighting. And I was like, oh, because she's a mermaid, she'll have trouble fighting on land. And that solved so many problems already. And I think like built tension in my story, and like I think it made it more engaging. And I'm excited to kind of like implement the changes that I came up with just from doing that. So tomorrow, I think that I'm gonna do another silly thing. I'm gonna make playlists for all of my characters. And I'll take you guys with me as I do that. Hiya! It is actually 2 days later. I forgot that I had to do 3 critiques yesterday for writing group. So I did those all yesterday instead of writing, but at the same time, I feel like that is like a fun strategy to get out of a slump, is to just like try and help your friends. I got a few ideas from the solutions I came up with for other people's work for like my own stuff. So I was really excited about that. I am about to go work on fun stuff related to my own project with my writing group. We're all going to a coffee shop together, and I already worked on designing my characters as like D&D characters. And today I'm going to focus on creating playlists for them, which I've already started and is like a little bit daunting since one of the characters is like an ethnomusicologist kind of. Like the bard character like really likes like international music and plays lots of instruments, but it's still like very fun and I think very necessary to like explore the music that he might like. So I'm going to work on that a little bit more today. And I'm also going to read comps. So like stuff that would tell me a little bit about this project and like stuff that might inspire me. And I'm going to see what I get. I'll see y'all once I get there. Bye. Like anytime Madison goes like the way that we don't want to go in group for critique, we're like revoke the charter. Revoke the charter.
Where's Sean? See, this is why I need Sean here because he really supports me.
Hello, it is again the next day. I had my plan to just like goof off and do kind of fun stuff related to my project yesterday, and I got sidetracked with that. And I wrote maybe 2,500 words, like maybe more. And that is a lot for me. Usually, even when I'm like working, I'm like a 500 word a day writer, because I write a lot of short stories, so like my like writing pace is just pretty slow, but I just like could not stop writing. Like yesterday I wrote so much, and I think I just got like even more of the story like figured out. It just clicked into place in my head just from doing all of these kind of like things that I thought like wouldn't be helpful and that I would like never need to do. So that was kind of a big learning experience for me. I'm gonna meet some people from my writing group at the same place today, and we're gonna write together. I did also kind of like, I worked, like actually worked a little bit yesterday, but like because I was so sidetracked writing, I didn't work. So I'm mostly gonna focus on that today, but I'm also gonna write a little bit. I plan to read a little bit too while we're at the cafe. But first I have my home nursing visit, and I'm gonna get a little bit of breakfast together, and I'm gonna work on, by breakfast I do mean like tube feed. And I'm gonna work on some Depop orders, And then I'm gonna stop by the mailbox and meet everybody at the cafe. What's in your mouth?
A whole napkin. The way he looked at you, he was like, please give that tasty snack back.
Yeah, it was so
That paper
nice.
napkin.
Life feels so good to chew on.
He has like a little paper toy thing that you're welcome to put in your mouth, babe. He's having a rough day.
I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah, I don't know about this chapter. Maybe I can stop trying to edit it and I can submit it as is, and then I will know what to change after.
Actually, I don't think this is bad. It's just not going the way I thought it was. That's okay.
Yes.
The fact that we write words out of nothing is crazy.
You just draw them from the ether.
Literally.
It's not that crazy because, like, you taught testing it.
But it's different.
I'm not any good at that though, to be honest. Yeah. Like I feel like when I was a teenager, I had this like belief that like I was just speaking gibberish and that like people were just kind of taking pity on me and pretending that I was speaking words.
They're just going, haha, yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's just because I'm the same type of weird as you, but I think you're an incredibly eloquent person. Like, you speak very well.
Thanks. Yeah. It's,
Like, whenever you give critiques, I'm like, ooh, Professor Lulu.
oh, I'm literally like, oh my God, they think everything I'm saying is bullshit. They're going to kick me out of the group. They're going to be like,
No, you
I think we should adjourn. And
They cut you off in the middle. Actually, I think we're disbanding.
no, I literally think about that. Like, they're like, look, Lulu, I'm like, they're going to stop me, like, mid-critique, and they're going to be like, look, Lulu, I think that, like, what's best, like, we've been talking about you. And we think what's best moving forward is if, you know, we just kind of, like, go our separate ways.
Just call you into like a meeting and we're all of
Yeah.
We're just like, please take a seat.
Honey, you're just not ready. Like,
Crazy.
I can relate to that though, because I always feel like before I read my critique that people are gonna be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
You read the same thing."
That's literally
We're gonna have to ask you to lose.
right. The one person who prints an entire like Google Drive document for everyone.
yeah. I do really appreciate your critiques, especially, like, you take notes, like, during.
Yeah, I like to add stuff. If that's how you know I disagree with you, I start writing, and I'm like, actually, in regards to this point.
I really appreciate
that
it
too.
though, because
Yeah.
it's like you're not always like I disagree. Sometimes you're like, oh, I like this, or like I saw it differently
Yeah.
because I saw this thing, and I'm like,
usually it's someone says this thing didn't work for me, and I'm like, this could be a way you might could make that work.
Yeah. No, I really appreciate that.
Because at the end of the day, like, you should do whatever you want in the story. You just have to earn it.
Yeah.
But like, there's no wrong decisions. There's just unearned decisions.
I love solutions though. Like even if y'all are like making some like wild, like maybe you could do this. I love hearing about it.
I'd forgotten that I hadn't told you my solution for the Sasha and Aro thing was that Sasha was too brain broken to fight her.
It's great pick. Very, very elegant pick.
I remember that moment where you were just like, why the fuck how did I not even think about this?
Yeah, because I had written that whole section like before he was brain broken. I'd written it with him having full consciousness.
That's crazy because it's such a good show. It's so compelling.
Yeah.
And I got to the end of that chapter and I was like, that's a major plot hole that he wouldn't, because he's got massive fire powers, just shoot a fucking fireball at her face. Like,
That's crazy.
problem solved. And I was like, I need to fix this.
I love that was the solution because it seemed like that aspect of the piece felt so ingrained in like what was happening.
Yeah. I think you come up with like such great solutions though. Like I always feel all right giving you notes. Like sometimes I'm like, oh, like this is a big note. Like I love her story and I don't want her to feel like overwhelmed and stop working on it.
Right.
Again, because I put so much pressure on myself. I'm like, if I say something discouraging,
Right.
I'm going to like end this like project that I want to come to fruition. But yeah, and then I'm like, no, like Charlie can fix it. Like that thing with like Oberon, like turning into like someone who was loved. That was such a huge. I've been recording this whole time. It's the next day. I did go to a cafe to do writing sprints with my writing group, and we did a few. It was like a very pretty coffee shop, but it was very busy, and the table that we had was like directly in the middle of like an open room. So I didn't feel super comfortable like filming there, but I was like very productive while I was there. I also got my first MFA rejection, and that's the only one I've heard from so far. So things go how they go. Wasn't like really expecting to like get into like every program that I applied to, and it looks like I have not. But anyway, I finished like rewriting the first chapter. Like I finished the first draft of my rewrite of the first chapter of my story, made a lot of changes, and now I just have to like edit it. And I also compiled everything that I have right now together, and it's about 15,000 words of this story, which is a pretty good amount for me. I'm very excited about that. And right now I'm just gonna edit that new draft I have of the first chapter and get it ready to submit for group tomorrow. And I'll take you with me as I do that. Hi. So it's Thursday now, and I was on track to submit my chapter, which is a section of 5,000 words, to my writing group on time. Unfortunately, on time was Tuesday night, and that has come and gone. So I am now 2 days late with my submission, so I really need to get it edited and submitted tonight. So that's what I'm gonna be working on. So it's Saturday morning now, and I was able to submit my 5,000 word section to be reviewed for writing group on Tuesday. It was 2.5 days late. It's supposed to be submitted Tuesday night, and I submitted it Friday afternoon. But my group was very understanding about that. So I think in conclusion to my little experiment, does doing fun things get you unstuck? Yes, but that doesn't mean that it gets you completely back on track. I was still really behind on what I needed to be doing, even if I found all this fun stuff to do and found inspiration again and wrote later chapters of my story. I was supposed to be rewriting the first chapter of my story, and I was not quite doing that when I needed to be doing it. But it all worked out okay. And I think instead of just having fun, when I'm stuck in the future, I'm gonna try a mix of having fun and being disciplined, and see if that works out. But thank you all so much for sticking with me through this journey, and I hope to see you again soon. Take care.